Have you ever felt unhealthy, but the doctor says you're fine, like something's heavy on your soul, random anxiety, tiredness, a deep sadness, but no reason for it? Now think about this. What if it's not your health, but your protection that's under attack? Witchcraft doesn't always come from enemies. Sometimes it's sent by the very people who hugged you, smiled at you, and said, "I'm happy for you." And the scariest part, you don't even realize it until your heart, your peace, your energy all start breaking down. But listen, Islam never left you helpless. The Prophet Muhammad gave us 7 spiritual shields, stronger than any sihr, magic, hasad, envy, or evil eye. So don't ignore this. Don't say, "I'll watch later." This might be what saves you or someone you love. Let's begin. Protection 1. You keep exposing yourself without realizing it. Let's be honest. Some people are basically begging to be harmed, not because they're evil, but because they're wide open. You don't need to visit a magician to be vulnerable. All it takes is a public account, a camera, and a moment of pride. You just got engaged? Post. You just landed a job? Post. You're glowing up, traveling, healing? Post. And then, days later, something starts to feel wrong. You can't focus. You get sick. You feel like something's been taken from you. But here's the twist. No one touched you. You handed them the key. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "Seek help in the fulfillment of your needs by keeping them secret, for every possessor of blessing is envied." We forget, Sihr doesn't always need a candle, a thread, or a spell. Sometimes it just needs someone watching your life through a screen, whispering curses through their jealousy. And when you hand deliver your entire life to people who don't clap unless it's for themselves, what do you expect? Some people aren't following you, they're monitoring you. And here's the kicker. Most of us only realize it after the damage is done, after something goes wrong, after trust is broken, after the excitement turns to regret. But the most dangerous harm is the kind that happens quietly. So ask yourself this before you move to the next point. Who really needed to know all those details about your life? Because protection isn't just in dua. Sometimes it starts with silence. And what comes next might just be the kind of protection that looks small on the surface, but separates those who fall apart from those who walk away untouched. It's not dramatic, it's not loud, but it changes everything. No. 2. You leave home with everything except protection. It's strange. We get dressed, spray perfume, check our phone battery, grab our keys, but forget the one thing that actually shields us. What we say before we leave. Most people don't realize it, but Sihr doesn't just target the home. It finds people in traffic, in classrooms, on sidewalks, in hallways, wherever they're exposed. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "Whoever says, Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. In the name of Allah, I place my trust in Allah, and there is no power nor might except with Allah. It will be said to him, you are protected and guided, and Shaytan will stay away from him." But how many people rush out into the world with perfect clothes and zero shield, reciting your morning Adhkar, making dua before stepping out, whispering even a short zikr. It doesn't take time, but it does take awareness. Because evil doesn't ask for permission, and protection only works when it's used before the harm. Some people lock their doors, but leave their souls open, Ever wonder how many dangers you walked right past today and didn't even realize it? Not because they were invisible, but because you were too caught up in everything else. That's the thing about warnings. They don't always shout. Sometimes they whisper, and when we stop listening, that's when the harm walks right in. No. 3. You miss Fajr, but still expect to be protected. Let's be real, we are the Adhkar generation. Wake up late, check our phones, scroll half-conscious in bed, and then panic because we're running late for class, work, or whatever imaginary deadline we made up that morning. But Fajr? That gets skipped like it's not urgent. You'd think the one appointment that decides whether you're under Allah's protection for the whole day would be at the top of our priorities. But we treat it like a background notification. Snooze, delay, excuses. The Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, "Whoever prays the morning prayer, he is under the protection of Allah." Now, here's the part that hurts a little. You ask Allah to protect your mind, your peace, your family, your future, but you can't even get out of bed to meet the one who offers it. Some of us wouldn't dare miss a Zoom meeting or lecture attendance, but we miss Fajr 3 days in a row and act like we're still spiritually insured. That's not a routine issue, that's a warning sign. Fajr isn't just a checkbox, it's a gate, and when you don't stand at that gate, you leave it open. Missing it once? Okay, life happens, but when missing it becomes your new normal, don't be surprised when chaos walks in. But now, let's talk about something we know is powerful. We repeat it, frame it, memorize it, yet somehow we barely use it. No. 4. You treat the Qur'an like decoration. There's a copy of it on the shelf, a verse framed on the wall, an app on your phone. But the last time you actually read it with reflection, maybe weeks ago, months, maybe last Ramadan. The Qur'an isn't a symbol of blessing, it is the blessing, but only if it's alive in your home. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Do not turn your homes into graves. Verily, Shaytan flees from the house in which Surah Al-Baqarah is recited, and yet many of us are trying to fight unseen harm with closed books and forgotten ayahs." Surah Al-Baqarah is one of the most powerful protections against Sihr, but most don't even try. Think it's too long? Read just the first few and last few ayahs. Can't recite fluently? Play it on your phone every morning. Let it echo through the walls. And if you want to go even deeper, recite Surah Al-Baqarah aloud, blow into water, and sprinkle that water in every corner of your home. It might sound simple, but the evil that's been hiding won't think so. Don't just display the Qur'an, activate it, because Sihr can't survive in homes filled with Allah's words. But here's the unsettling part. Not every attack comes from outside. Some begin with what we ignore inside ourselves, the laziness we justify, the envy we dismiss, the cracks we cover up. You don't need someone casting something on you when the real damage is happening in silence from within. So now, let's talk about the one type of protection that most people never think they'll need until they're already the ones unintentionally inviting harm. No. 5. You don't recite the last 3 surahs, even though they were sent for this. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was affected by Sihr, he didn't go to a scholar or healer. Allah revealed something stronger than anything the magicians could conjure. Surah Al-Ikhlas, Surah Al-Falaq, and Surah An-Naas, the ultimate spiritual firewall. Yet for most of us, these surahs are more familiar from childhood competitions than actual daily protection. We say we're afraid of the evil eye, of envy, of witchcraft. But when's the last time we recited these 3 surahs every single morning and night, like the Prophet ﷺ taught us? Let that sink in. The Prophet ﷺ, the best of all creation, the one closest to Allah, never skipped this protection. And we do. We call it basic. We treat it like a warm-up. And then we wonder why things start falling apart out of nowhere. These 3 surahs aren't just verses, they're weapons. And yet, we're walking into spiritual battles every day with nothing but anxiety and a hope for the best mindset. Recite them, blow over your hands, wipe your body, morning, night, every day. And if that feels like too much, ask yourself, would you go a day without locking your front door? Then why is your soul left open to whatever wants to enter? The scariest thing about Sihr is that you often don't know it's working until it already has. But the mercy of Allah is this: the cure was always there, waiting to be used. But what about the things already inside your space? The ones that don't look harmful, but carry a strange weight? The kinds of things that make your chest feel tight, your sleep turns shallow, and your gut whisper, something's wrong? Because sometimes fear doesn't knock at your door, it's already sitting inside. No. 6. You let strange things stay in your house, even when your gut tells you something's off. That souvenir from someone you never trusted, that bracelet you found but never bought, that decorative piece that makes you feel off every time you walk past it, but you keep it because it's probably nothing. But sihr isn't always cast through spells or rituals. Sometimes it's hidden in plain sight. Throughout Islamic tradition, our scholars and predecessors exercised caution in their homes, removing items of unclear origin, avoiding things that created discomfort, and staying aware of the unseen. Because not every danger announces itself. Some just sit quietly until you finally notice what's wrong. And the scary part, you already felt it. That uneasiness, that tension when you enter a certain room, that resistance to pray in a certain spot. That's not random. Clean your space. Recite Surah Al-Baqarah aloud in your home. Blow on water. Sprinkle it in the corners. Ask Allah to expose anything not meant to stay. And most importantly, trust that subtle warning Allah placed in your chest. Your gut isn't just instinct, it's mercy. But some harm doesn't come through what enters your home. It comes through what enters your ears. The voices you let echo in your head, the content you keep consuming, and the people you think are harmless, until the damage is already done. No. 7. You let toxic voices stay in your head, and you call it entertainment. Let's be brutally honest. You wouldn't invite a magician into your house to perform sihr on you, but you let someone on your feed do it, one reel at a time. Influencers mocking religion, music whispering darkness into your soul, podcasts filled with envy, disrespect, ego. But it's just background noise, right? Wrong. Sihr doesn't always arrive with smoke and cymbals. Sometimes it drips slowly, through earbuds, through voices, through repetition, until your ruqyah starts to rot, and you blame it on stress. The Prophet ﷺ told us that words carry power. The Qur'an is a word. Dua is a word. Sihr itself is often built from words. So how can we think it's harmless to absorb lyrics, jokes, or voices that make us numb to haram? And the worst part, some of these voices don't even whisper anymore. They shout. And we follow them anyway because they're relatable, they're funny, they're viral. But viral doesn't mean safe. Protect your ears like you protect your eyes. Unfollow them. Mute them. Don't let someone's content become your curse, because the scariest spells aren't cast in silence. They're played on repeat. And now we've come to the final reminder, the one that brings everything together. Because protection isn't just about what you do, it's about who you turn to when everything else feels like it's falling apart. There will be days when you still feel weak, when your heart feels heavy, your du'as feel empty, and your mind is full of thoughts you can't even explain. But remember this, Allah isn't waiting for you to be perfect. He's waiting for you to be honest, to call on Him, to trust that no sihr, no evil eye, no darkness can harm you unless Allah allows it. The Qur'an says, "But they do not harm anyone except by permission of Allah." So say this, right now with your heart, Allah is enough for me. There is no God but Him. Say it in the morning. Say it at night. Say it when fear creeps in. Say it when you feel attacked, because the moment you remember who truly protects you is the moment nothing else can touch you. And if you're still watching this, maybe you were meant to say this out loud, or even type it below. Ya Allah, protect me from what I can't see and give me strength for what I can. If this video helped you, even a little, share it. Maybe someone else is walking through life unprotected. May Allah protect your heart, your home, and the battles no one else sees. Ameen.